Welcome to another episode of The Pickpocket. Here at The Pickpocket, we use the NBA category in the Fanduel app to help you win money. Man, we had some crazy games last night, man. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Miami Heat by 47 points. Man, what's up with all these teams losing by 45 to 50 points? Ooh, 2020 gotta hurry up and end, man. I don't know what's going on out here, man. Also, here at the Pickpocket, we won last night. And I'm trying to tell y'all, man, when our guys stay out of foul trouble, when our guys stay out of foul trouble, and if they stay injury free, and if they don't sit out, it's almost a guaranteed win for us here at the Pickpocket. So you really gotta tune into our videos. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do because we're trying to help you out with money, man. We're trying to help y'all with money, man. We won a little bit of money last night. We didn't win thousands of dollars, but we won. You know, a win is a win. We'll take it, right? We know eventually we're gonna win big because we're on the right track. We've been winning almost every night, and we want the same thing for you. So thank you guys for liking, commenting, and sharing. Please tell a friend about the channel. Without further ado, we got a lot of great games tonight, so let's get right into it. Let's head to the computer now. See you on the next video. All right, strategies and lineups for December 30th. Let's get into it. All right, these are the symbols you're going to see by players' names on the right corner or the right-hand side. These symbols are very important. You're going to see a lot of these symbols in these presentations, so make sure you pay attention to what the meaning is. And if you need to rewind, pause, go back to these symbols, feel free to do that. Let's move on. The FanDuel Scout app is an app that's going to help you as far as injury updates. It's going to let you know if people are sitting out before the game starts. So just keep that in mind. This app will be very useful to you because people do decide to sit out at the last minute before a game starts. So this app will keep you up to date and you'll be able to adjust your lineup in time before the game starts. So just keep that in mind. Let's not stand on ceremony here. But basically, guys, we're switching up how we present players to you. Please let us know what you guys think. We're going to be doing it game by game tonight instead of just going by position to position. So just let us know if you like this format better. All right, so we have Miami versus Milwaukee. Guys, you want to look at all these guys, but we're going to focus on the guys with the symbols next to their names. Drew Holiday played really well against Miami yesterday, and they played Miami again today. We expect Drew Holiday to play well again. He had Gordon and Dragic. Nobody on that team could really guard Drew Holiday. And the great thing about Drew Holiday, if he's not scoring field goals, he's still going to play defense. He's going to get you those steals. He may even get you an occasional block. He's going to get a few rebounds, and he's also going to get assists for you. So just keep that in mind. And Drew Holiday only cost $6,400 in FanDuel salary. So that's a great solid pickup. Chris Middleton has been on fire. Chris Middleton, he cost $7,800 in salary. He's averaging 43.42. Chris Middleton honestly hasn't had a bad game yet. So he's on a hot streak right now. If you can afford Chris Middleton, please get Chris Middleton. We're going to jump down to Bobby Portis. He's been playing exceptionally well. He's been kind of slept on. As you can see, he's averaging $4,600 in salary. He's averaging 24.6 FPPG, but I think his last previous game he had around 11 points and maybe 8 or 9 boards. He's very solid. He's a great defender. He's a great rebounder, and he occasionally scores points for you. So keep that in mind if you're looking for somebody affordable. If you're looking for somebody that you can afford and also get decent FPPG, keep Bobby Portis in mind for this game. All right, so as far as Giannis, now the thing with Giannis, and he didn't play, you gotta understand, the Milwaukee Bucks blew Miami out, so he didn't really have to play a lot of minutes, and he didn't have to really play for real because his whole team was hitting threes. So the problem with that, if you got Giannis yesterday, he cost $11,000 in FanDuel salary.
and he didn't live up to that. Really, he didn't live up to that salary last night. He only had 6 points as far as field goals, and I honestly forget his FPPG, but it wasn't enough to match up to 11,000 in salary. So keep in mind that if you do pick Giannis Antetokounmpo, he costs 11,000. So if he doesn't score 60 to 70 FPPG, your lineup is pretty much ruined. So keep that in mind. That's a very important point right there. And also, this is a slide, and you're going to see these slides occasionally. These are the slides that our scouts typed. So please read this. There's some very important information in these slides. All right, Atlanta versus Brooklyn. Trae Young. Man, okay, so Trae Young, if you guys don't know who Trae Young is the point guard for the Atlanta Hawks. He's going to hit threes for you. And Trae Young is a great passer. He's going to get those assists for you. He only costs $9,800 in salary. Now, Trae Young is going against Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving plays for the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving costs us $9,400 in salary. Now, I know what you're wondering. Should I get Kyrie or should I get Trae Young? If I can't get both, which one should I get? Now, here are the things that you have to look at. Trae Young is a better passer than Kyrie Irving. So, if you can afford Trae Young, we would suggest getting Trae Young. Kyrie Irving is still a beast. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can't go wrong with either one. The good thing is Kyrie is definitely cheaper than Trae Young, but we know Kyrie Irving is going to score. The question is Kyrie Irving going to get those assists? And that's the question mark that comes with Kyrie. I'm not saying that Kyrie is a bad pick. Kyrie is a great pick. But if you had to pick between Trae Young and Kyrie Irving, me personally, I would pick Trae Young because he's going to rack you up. He's going to rack up those assists for you as well. But if you get Kyrie Irving, don't get it twisted. Kyrie has the potential to drop 50 as far as real life NBA field goal points. So keep that in mind. Kyrie has the potential to go bonkers. So honestly, you can pick whoever you feel, you can pick who you see fit in that situation. That's up to you. Me personally, I'm gonna go Trae Young just for the simple fact that he's gonna rack up those assists, and it's a more safer pick. Kyrie Irving, he does have KD, so he doesn't really have to carry a big load like Trae Young has. So keep all that in mind. Rajon Rondo, he's also very, very important to the Atlanta Hawks roster. He comes off the bench. He's the backup point guard. He was very solid. He had 27 FPPG. One thing about Rondo is going to get those assists for you. He's going to rack up those assists. He's also a great defender. He's always going to have a few steals and maybe even a few boards. Rondo is great because if you need a fill-in player, he only costs $4,700 in salary. So if you need somebody that's cheap and it's going to give you good production, Rajon Rondo is the way to go. We're also going to look at Kevin Durant. The great thing with Kevin Durant, even though he does cost $9,500 in salary, nobody on the Atlanta Hawks team can guard Kevin Durant. Like, they have nobody that can guard. Is nobody in the league that can guard Kevin Durant? Yes, I know that. But as far as the Atlanta Hawks, for this particular game, they literally have nobody who comes even close to guarding Kevin Durant. So this Kevin Durant can potentially explode tonight as far as scoring. And Kevin Durant's defense is underrated. So he may even give you a few blocks, and he's definitely going to get a few rebounds. So keep all that in mind. All right, Jared Allen. Even though Jared Allen doesn't start, or he wasn't starting in the beginning of the season, we don't know if he's going to start tomorrow or not. But Jared Allen typically doesn't start. He hasn't started this year, so Jared Allen is definitely a good pickup anyway because he still plays a lot. He gets a lot of time out there. He's averaging 28.47 in FPPG, and he only costs $5,700. Jared Allen, if you don't know who he is, he's a backup center for the Brooklyn Nets. He's going to give you those rebounds, and he's going to block shots for you. And he's going to get those occasional dunks at the basket. So, you know, you're hoping that he gets a lot of rebounds and a lot of blocks, and if he can score a few field goals, that's great too. So keep that in mind. Also, this is a slide. Please pause and read because there is some very important information on this slide. So please pause and read all of this information. Very important, and it will definitely help you with your lineup. All right, Memphis versus Boston. Memphis versus Boston. So Dillon Brooks is very interesting because Ja Morant's not playing. So Dillon Brooks is going to have to carry a lot of the load. The thing about Dillon Brooks is that he's a solid player and he's a solid defender. He's averaging, I believe, 2 to 3 steals a game. And he's going to get a lot of field goal attempts because there is no Ja Morant. So he's going to take a lot of the scoring load. He only costs $6,700, so keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that he is going to have either Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown guarding him. That may or may not make a difference because if Dillon Brooks just jacks it up and shoots 25 to 30 shots, he's going to score his points regardless of who's on him. This is the NBA. So the great thing about Fanduel, they don't look at field goal attempts. They just look at the field goals you made. So if he shoots 40 shots, it makes 15 to 20 of them. Or if he makes 13 to 15 of them, that's still good for us. So that's still good as far as FPPG, so keep that in mind. Marcus Smart, he's a great defender. He's going to get you those steals. He's going to get you those rebounds, and he's developed into a great three-point shooter. So he only costs $5,900 in salary if you're looking for somebody cheap, and that's going to give you great production. Marcus Smart is always a solid pick. And you guys all know about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is a great defender. He's going to score. He's going to score field goals for you. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to get those steals for you. And occasionally he's going to get those blocks. So he costs $8,000 in salary. That's not too bad. So we definitely suggest getting Jaylen Brown if you can afford him. Kyle Anderson has been playing really well lately, and he only costs $6,200 in salary. With no Ja Morant on the team, Kyle Anderson also is going to have to carry a big load. Kyle Anderson is a great scorer, he's a great defender, and he's a great rebounder. So he's going to get those steals for you, he's going to get those occasional blocks for you, and he's going to score occasional points for you. As you can see, he's averaging 33.73 in FPPG. So that's solid, especially to only cost $6,200 in FanDuel salary. So he's been playing really well lately. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for somebody affordable, definitely get Kyle Anderson. And of course, you guys know Jason Tatum. He's going to carry the main scoring load for the Boston Celtics. He's going to get the most field goal attempts. So if you can afford Jason Tatum, if you want to get Jason Tatum, he's never a bad pick. No need to go into what Jason Tatum does. You guys all know about Jason Tatum. Jonas Valanciunas, he is a great pick. You really will want to look at him. He's dang near the only good center playing tonight. So keep that in mind. It's almost like you might, if you want to win, you dang near might have to pick Jonas Valanciunas in one of your lineups because he's really the only quality center that's playing tonight. Like I said before, for the previous Memphis players, Ja Morant is not playing. So Valanciunas is going to take a lot of the scoring load as well. He's going to get you those rebounds. He's going to score points, and he's a solid defender. So keep that in mind. Jonas Valanciunas, he only costs $7,500 in salary. He has the potential to give you 35 to 40 FPPG, which is not bad at all. So keep that in mind. And feel free to read this slide. Very important information here. Some things I may have not touched on. So keep that in mind. Be sure to read this. Lakers versus San Antonio. Guys, you really want to look at it. You want to look at all these guys, but we're going to pay attention to the guys with the symbols next to their names. DeJounte Murray. The great thing about DeJounte is that he doesn't have to have a great night scoring field goals for him to rack up FPPG. He's a great rebounder, and he's been passing the ball very well this year. He had games where he had a triple-double. Then another game, I believe he had like 9 assists. So he's been passing the ball very well this year. So he's racking up FPPG without really even scoring field goals. So keep that in mind. He only costs $7,300 in FanDuel salary. So he's a solid pick if you can afford him. Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder has the potential to go off. San Antonio, they struggle also with guarding point guards or whatnot. So Honestly, I expect Dennis Schroeder to have a great night tonight. He only costs 6,100 in salary. Schroeder is a decent scorer. He's a great defender, very feisty on the defensive end. He's going to get you those steals. He's going to get those occasional rebounds, but not too many rebounds, especially if Anthony Davis plays. So keep all that in mind. If you're looking for somebody cheap and affordable and decent, Dennis Schroeder would definitely be the way to go. Somebody that you guys may not know about, Keldon Johnson. This guy here is a freaking beast. He only costs $5,800. This is what Keldon Johnson does on the floor. He's a great scorer. He's a great rebounder, and he's a great defender. Now, mind you, he's only the small forward / shooting guard for the San Antonio Spurs. So it's been games he had 8 boards. He's grabbing. I don't know how he's getting. He's just jumping in there and getting these boards, man. He's racking up the FPPG without scoring a lot of field goals too. So he's definitely a guy you will want to look at. He's definitely a sleeper. He's a beast. Yes, they are going against Anthony Davis, but you got to think Anthony Davis. There is going to be time periods where Anthony Davis is not in the game. So if Anthony Davis is subbed out and Keldon Johnson is in, he has the opportunity to grab those rebounds or get those rebounds that he normally gets. So keep that in mind if you're nervous about him getting rebounds with Anthony Davis. Yeah, Keldon Johnson is a great player. He's also a decent shooter, so he's going to hit those threes for you as well. He only costs $5,800 in salary. He's one of my favorite players to watch, so keep Keldon Johnson in mind. Rudy Gay is also solid coming off the bench for the San Antonio Spurs. Rudy Gay, he's going to score points for you. He's going to get a few rebounds for you. He's not the greatest defender. He costs $5,500 in salary, so Rudy Gay, you're pretty much banking on him having a good scoring night. The good thing is that when he does come off the bench, he's the number 1, possibly number 2 option coming off the bench for the San Antonio Spurs. So he's going to get his field goal attempts. The question comes, is he going to make them or not? That's the thing with Rudy Gay. So keep that in mind. And of course, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis hasn't really played well as far as Fanduel standards. He's only averaging 35.66 FPPG and he costs $10,000. If you would ask me, that's not a good investment. The great thing about tonight, he is going against San Antonio. To start the game, he's going to have LaMarcus Aldridge on him. Aldridge defense is completely atrocious. So if Anthony Davis plays a lot, we expect Anthony Davis to go nuts. So keep all that in mind. LeBron James is a game time decision. LeBron James, I'm personally not going to fool with him because he is game time decision. He may or may not play. If you pick him, he's LeBron James, so he's going to get decent FPPG for you. I think the challenge here is if he plays or if he doesn't. If he plays, LeBron is going to get you great FPPG. If he doesn't, you're screwed. So keep that in mind if you pick LeBron James. And please read this. Please read this. Some very important stuff in this slide that our scouts typed up. So please read this. All right. Charlotte versus the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic. He's another player. He costs $11,000 in FanDuel salary. So if even here, he's averaging 46 FPPG. If you was to ask me, I think that's still fairly low to cost that much. If he's only giving you 46 FPPG and he costs $11,000, that's fairly low to me. Because you got guys like Jokic who is averaging 60, 70 FPPG, and I believe Jokic only costs like $10,000 in salary. Luka costs like $11,000 in salary, so if you want to build your lineup around Luka, just understand that if Luka doesn't have a great game, your lineup can potentially be ruined. So keep that in mind with Luka. Devontae Graham. The good thing about Devontae is that he only costs $5,900, and he's a great three-point shooter, and he's a great passer. So he's going to have solid FPPG. He's going to at least get you over the 20s as far as FPPG on a typical night. As you can see, he's averaging 31.1. So he's going to score around 25 to 31 FPPG on a typical night. You're banking on him to explode against Dallas. Dallas defense isn't that great, so he could potentially have a great night against Dallas. So keep that in mind. Gordon Hayward has been playing out of his mind lately this season. So he's been playing really well. Surprised me. I picked Gordon lineup in my individual lineup tonight. I picked Gordon Hayward in my individual lineup tonight. So, like I said, as you see here, he only cost $7,800 in salary, and he's averaging 41.16 FPPG. If you look up at Luka Doncic costs $11,400. He costs $11,400 in salary, and he's only averaging 46 FPPG. And you got Gordon Hayward, who costs $7,800 in salary, and is averaging 41.16 FPPG. So that's really something to really look at. Gordon Hayward, he's going to give you around 40 FPPG, and he only costs $7,800. Gordon Hayward is a great scorer. He's a great three-point shooter. He's a great mid-range shooter. He's a decent defender. He's been getting a lot of assists this year. He's been passing the ball very well, and he's been getting a few rebounds. So that's how he's racking up that FPPG. Keep Gordon Hayward in mind. If you can get him, we definitely suggest getting him. Tim Hardaway is also a decent player. He's a decent defender, and he's a decent three-point shooter. He only costs $5,100 in salary. He's always gonna, if you need somebody cheap and you need somebody to get you 25 to 30 FPPG, Tim Hardaway is always a great pick. PJ Washington also is a great pick. He's averaging 31.13 in FPPG. He only costs $6,400 in salary. He is a great he's a great player. He's a decent player. If you're looking for somebody to give you production and not spend a lot of money, he's definitely one of those type of players. So keep that in mind. And please read the slide to get a more in-depth analysis of that lineup that I just shared, or those players I just shared with you. Portland versus the Clippers. Whew, okay. So there's a lot of good players in this game. You have Damian Lillard. The thing with Dame is that you're hoping that he scores a lot of field goals. Damian Lillard is a great scorer, and he's an okay passer. So if Damian Lillard doesn't have a big scoring night as far as field goals, he's not going to really have great FPPG, and he costs $9,200 in salary. So yeah, I mean, Damian Lillard, he's a great player, but at the same time, he's a potential risk. And it is what it is. Now, he is going against the Clippers. Him and Patrick Beverley have had wars on Twitter or whatnot, so there's a chance Damian Lillard might try and drop 50 tonight. So keep that in mind as well. CJ McCollum, and CJ McCollum is a great player. He's been playing really well this season. CJ McCollum is a great mid-range shooter. He's a great deep three-point shooter as well. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard are not the greatest defenders. They're not the greatest defenders. So keep that in mind as well. They're not going to get you those steals or blocks at all, really. CJ McCollum, I believe, has been passing the ball very well too. He's been getting a few assists. So that's why his FPPG is very high. He's averaging 49.33. He's also scoring the ball too. He is going against the Clippers. The Clippers do have a great defense. This is still early in the season, so we don't know if the Clippers are going to shut down CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard yet, because it's the beginning of the season. You know, guys are half playing. Some guys are playing hard and some guys aren't. That's just the reality of the situation. So keep all that in mind. Paul George. Paul George, he's still cheap. I would take advantage and get Paul George if you can. Paul George is a great defender. He's going to get you a few rebounds, and he can score. Yes, he's only averaging 33.86 FPPG, but Paul George on any given night has the potential to go bonkers as far as FPPG, because he's going to score points for you. He's going to play defense. He's going to get those steals. He's going to get those rebounds, and he's going to occasionally get blocks. So in our opinion, that's going to be a steal every night. Every night he costs $7,600. We suggest picking Paul George. Luke Kennard is also a great shooter. So if you're looking for somebody cheap, in the FanDuel salary, he's a great pick. You're banking on Luke Kennard to hit a lot of threes. So just keep that in mind. If he's not hitting a lot of threes, you can be in trouble. And he can give you very, very low FPPG if he's not hitting threes. So keep that in mind. The good thing is that Portland defense is atrocious, so there's a chance Luke Kennard can hit 3 to 5, possibly even 7 threes tonight. So just keep that in mind. Nicholas Batum is a great player. He's starting to find his rhythm a little bit. The good thing about Batum, he doesn't have to score points, but he does get rebounds, and he's a great defender. He's going to get you those steals. He's going to get you a few blocks, but he's a decent three-point shooter too. So if you're looking for somebody cheap, he only costs $4,800 in salary. Don't sleep on Nicholas Batum. Serge Ibaka also. Serge Ibaka can stretch the floor. He can shoot the mid-range. He can shoot the three ball a little bit. He can block shots for you, and he can get and he's getting a few rebounds. So keep that in mind. He only costs $5,400 in salary. Of course, I know you guys are wondering about Kawhi Leonard. We don't know if Kawhi Leonard is playing yet, so we didn't put him on here. But if Kawhi Leonard is playing, please be sure to adjust your lineup accordingly. Alrighty, and please read this. Very important information here. Please read this. It's going to give you some great information to help you with your FanDuel lineups. All right, mock lineup number 1. Excuse me, I just burped. But mock lineup number 1, and I apologize again for the font. We're having technical difficulties with this font for some reason, so we will definitely get it fixed in future videos. But if you can't read it, the first person is Drew Holiday. He costs $6,400. We got Trae Young. He costs $9,800. Paul George at $7,600. We have Avery Bradley at $4,000. Jaylen Brown at $8,000. Keldon Johnson at $5,800. We have Kyle Kuzma at $4,200. We have PJ Washington at $6,400. And we have Jonas Valanciunas at $7,500. If you choose to have a balanced lineup, this is sort of what to expect, being mindful of injuries and rest, with $300 in salary remaining. So this is a really solid lineup, so keep this in mind, especially if Kyle Kuzma has a great game. If Kyle Kuzma has a great game, this lineup could potentially do really well. Our next lineup for you guys, and this font is a little bit better on as far as the numbers, but as you can see, we got Drew Holiday at $6,400, DeJounte Murray at $7,300, CJ McCollum at $8,400, Marcus Smart at $5,900, Gordon Hayward at $7,800, Kevin Durant at $9,500. We have Brandon Clark at $4,600, Kyle Kuzma at $4,200, and Serge Ibaka at $5,400. This is a great lineup as well. And also, if Kyle Kuzma has a great night, this lineup can potentially have a great night as well. So keep that in mind. And please, this mock lineup is not perfect by any means. Look to shuffle around your point guards or shooting guards. Power forwards isn't full of much. So keep in mind, you might have to pay or really go cheap and hope for good production. And with this lineup, you will have $500 in salary remaining, which means you can upgrade anywhere. Please remember, mock lineups are meant to provide a base for your roster. You can fill in whenever you think other picks would do better. We are encouraging you to do your best to swap players with these mock lineups. If you use one of our lineups and they do well for you, please comment and tell us how your lineup did. We would love to hear your feedback. And please like, subscribe, comment your suggestions or questions, and thank you for choosing another episode of the Pickpocket DFS. We'll see you on the next video.